Hello, and welcome back to Crime Cat Podcast, where we delve into the most bone-chilling, wicked, and twisted stories that haunt the mind. Today we discuss the tragic disappearance of Maura Murray. Before we start, viewers be warned. This video contains graphic and disturbing content, including descriptions of violence and murder. Viewer discretion is advised. Some details may be unsettling or triggering for certain individuals. Maura Murray, a vibrant and promising young woman, vanished into thin air on the frigid evening of February 9th, 2004. The 21-year-old nursing student pursuing her dreams at the University of Massachusetts Amherst met a tragic fate when her car careened off Route 112 near the quaint village of Woodsville, New Hampshire. Despite extensive searches and countless theories, Maura's whereabouts remain a haunting mystery, leaving her family and friends yearning for answers. Maura Murray, a spirited soul, was brought into the world on May 4th, 1982, in the quiet town of Hanson, Massachusetts. The fourth-born child of Frederick, Fred, and Laura Murray, she was cherished by her older siblings, Fred, Kathleen, and Julie, as well as her younger half-brother, Kurt. Nurtured in the warm embrace of an Irish Catholic family, young Maura experienced the joys and challenges of childhood, primarily under the loving care of her mother. Maura, a bright and determined young woman, soared through her high school years at Whitman-Hanson Regional High School, leaving an indelible mark on the school's track team as a star athlete. Her academic prowess earned her a coveted spot at the prestigious United States Military Academy at West Point, where she embarked on a rigorous journey to study chemical engineering. However, the disciplined world of West Point did not align with her aspirations. Seeking a different path, Maura made the courageous decision to transfer to the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where she pursued a degree in nursing, a field that ignited her passion for helping others. In the crisp autumn of 2003, a mere 3 months before her mysterious disappearance, a troubling incident cast a shadow over Maura's promising future. She confessed to a misstep, having used a stolen credit card to indulge in meals at several restaurants, including one in the quaint town of Hadley, Massachusetts. The legal system, ever lenient, granted her a second chance, continuing the case in December and dismissing the charges under the condition of 3 months of impeccable behavior. On a frigid February evening in 2004, while patrolling the campus grounds as a security guard, Maura's usually bright spirit dimmed. During a heart-to-heart phone conversation with her older sister, Kathleen, the weight of her sister's tumultuous relationship with her fiancé became too much to bear. Around 10:30 p.m., while still on duty, Maura's composure shattered, and tears streamed down her face. Her supervisor, sensing her distress, found her completely withdrawn, her mind a distant fog. Gently, he escorted her back to her dorm room, where her only response to his concern was a heartbreaking 2-word whisper, "My sister." The details of that fateful phone call remained shrouded in mystery for over a decade. It wasn't until October 2017 that Kathleen, bravely confronting her own struggles with alcoholism, publicly revealed the truth. On that fateful night, she had been discharged from a rehabilitation clinic, only to be derailed by her fiancé's decision to stop at a liquor store, triggering a devastating relapse. On the frigid Saturday evening of February 7th, 2004, a sense of unease settled over Maura as her father, Fred, arrived in Amherst. The day unfolded in a blur of car dealerships and dinner parties, a forced facade of normalcy amidst the growing turmoil within her. After dropping her father off at his motel, Maura borrowed his Toyota Corolla and ventured back to campus, her heart heavy with unspoken worries. She arrived at the dorm party around 10:30 p.m., seeking solace in the company of friends. However, the tranquility was short-lived. At 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, February 8th, Maura left the party, her mind clouded with troubled thoughts. A mere hour later, a harrowing accident unfolded on Route 9 in Hadley. The once pristine Toyota Corolla, a symbol of familial trust, lay mangled against a guardrail, a stark testament to the destructive force of the night. The responding officer, indifferent to the turmoil within, merely documented the incident, leaving no record of any sobriety tests. Maura, battered and bruised, returned to her father's motel, seeking refuge in his room. The morning of February 8th stretched into a haze of uncertainty. At 4:49 a.m., a mysterious cell phone call was placed to her boyfriend from Fred's phone. The identity of the caller and the content of the conversation remained shrouded in secrecy, adding another layer of intrigue to the enigmatic puzzle of Maura's disappearance. As the sun cast its golden rays on Sunday morning, a sense of relief washed over Fred as he learned that his auto insurance would cover the extensive damage to his vehicle. With a newfound sense of ease, he rented a car, dropped Maura off at the university, and embarked on a journey back to Connecticut. Later that night, at 11:30 p.m., Fred reached out to his daughter, his voice carrying a gentle reminder to secure the necessary accident forms from the Massachusetts Registry of Motor Vehicles. They agreed to reconvene the following night, Monday, to discuss the forms in detail and initiate the insurance claim process over the phone. Little did they know this would be their final conversation. As the clock struck midnight on Monday, February 9th, 2004, a sense of restlessness consumed Maura. She turned to her computer, her fingers dancing across the keyboard as she searched MapQuest for directions to the serene Berkshires and the charming city of Burlington, Vermont. The digital footprint marked the beginning of a series of enigmatic actions that would forever alter the course of her life. Her first recorded contact that day came at 1 p.m., a tender email to her boyfriend, a love letter etched in digital ink. "I love you more, stud. I got your messages, but honestly, I didn't feel like talking too much to anyone. I promise to call you today, though. Love you, Maura." Her words, filled with affection and longing, hinted at a troubled soul seeking solace in the arms of love. In a desperate attempt to escape the confines of her reality, Maura placed a phone call to inquire about renting a condominium in Bartlett, New Hampshire, a place that held cherished memories of family vacations. The 3-minute conversation, a fleeting moment in time, was met with disappointment as the owner declined her request. At 1:13 p.m., a cryptic phone call to a fellow nursing student further deepened the mystery surrounding her actions. The purpose of this call remains unknown, a puzzle piece missing from the intricate tapestry of her final hours. The afternoon of Monday, February 9th, 2004, unfolded into a whirlwind of cryptic actions. At 1:24 p.m., a somber email penned by Maura informed her work supervisor at the nursing school of an impending absence, citing a heartbreaking family tragedy. However, her family would later reveal that no such death had occurred. The email, a veil of deception, hinted at a troubled mind seeking escape. Maura's restless spirit led her to the phone, where she dialed a number providing recorded information about booking hotels in the idyllic town of Stowe, Vermont. This 5-minute call, a silent conversation with the machine, revealed a yearning for solitude and a change of scenery. At 2:18 p.m., her thoughts turned to her boyfriend, and she left a brief voice message, a promise of connection and shared moments. The 1-minute call, a fleeting moment of intimacy, masked the growing turmoil within her. As the day ended, Maura's actions became increasingly enigmatic, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a heart-wrenching mystery. Maura, her heart heavy with unspoken emotions, meticulously packed her belongings, a tangible manifestation of her desire to break free from the confines of her familiar life. Clothing, toiletries, college textbooks, and birth control pills, symbols of her past and present, were carefully stowed away in her car. A subsequent search of her room by campus police revealed a stark contrast. Most of her belongings were packed in boxes, the walls stripped bare of their art. Whether she had meticulously prepared for this departure on that very day or in the quiet hours of the night remains a mystery, shrouded in the fog of uncertainty. A chilling discovery awaited the investigators. A printed email, a digital whisper of potential discord in her relationship with her boyfriend, lay atop the neatly packed boxes. As the snowstorm raged outside, canceling classes and cloaking the campus in a blanket of white, Maura made the decision to leave. At approximately 3:30 p.m., she slipped away, her black 1996 Saturn sedan disappearing into the snowy landscape, carrying with it the weight of her unspoken fears and unfulfilled dreams. The clock struck 3:40 p.m. as Maura, her heart heavy with a mix of emotions, approached an ATM, a solitary figure shrouded in the anonymity of the machine. She withdrew $280, a tangible symbol of her desire for escape. Her next stop was a nearby liquor store, a place where she sought solace in a bottle. The security cameras captured her every move, a silent witness to her purchase of $40 worth of alcoholic beverages: Bailey's Irish Cream, Kahlua, vodka, and a box of Franzia wine, a desperate attempt to numb the pain, to silence the inner turmoil that consumed her. Amidst this whirlwind of activity, she managed to fulfill her earlier commitment to her father, obtaining the necessary accident report forms from the Registry of Motor Vehicles. Each action, each purchase, each task was a piece of the puzzle, a clue to the tumultuous state of her mind, a foreshadowing of the darkness that would soon engulf her. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the landscape, Maura slipped away from Amherst, her departure a silent farewell to the familiar. Between the hours of 4 and 5 p.m., she embarked on a journey, her destination unknown, her future uncertain. Interstate 91 North, a ribbon of asphalt stretching towards the horizon, served as her silent companion. At 4:34 p.m., a brief moment of connection, a fleeting check of her voicemail, marked the last recorded use of her cell phone. The digital silence that followed was a stark contrast to the cacophony of thoughts and emotions swirling within her. To this day, no trace of her intended destination or any evidence of a carefully crafted plan have surfaced. Her disappearance, a mystery cloaked in darkness, continues to haunt those who knew and loved her. The stark reality of Maura Murray's disappearance is captured in the image of a blue ribbon tied to a tree, marking the crash site on Route 112. The right-angle turn, once a mundane feature of the road, now serves as a haunting reminder of the fateful night. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the quiet town of Woodsville, New Hampshire, a chilling incident unfolded. Sometime after 7 p.m., a local resident, startled by a loud thump, peered out her window to witness a harrowing scene. A car, its front end crumpled against the snowbank, lay stranded on Route 112, also known as Wild Amanusak Road. The vehicle, facing west on the eastbound side of the road, bore witness to the violent impact against the sharp corner adjacent to the woman's home. Alarmed by the sight, the concerned resident immediately contacted the Grafton County Sheriff's Department at 7:27 p.m. In her initial report, she claimed to have seen a man inside the car. A solitary figure shrouded in the dim glow of a cigarette. However, as the night deepened and the fog of memory settled, her recollection shifted. The man vanished, replaced by a mysterious red light emanating from within the car, perhaps the eerie glow of a cell phone. A passing school bus driver, a local resident familiar with the treacherous road, was drawn to the scene by the unusual sight. As he approached the wrecked vehicle, he saw a young woman wandering aimlessly around the car, her figure lost in the gathering darkness. This fleeting encounter, a moment of human connection, would be the last time anyone would see Maura Murray. The school bus driver, a witness to the unfolding drama, approached the young woman, her figure etched against the backdrop of the wrecked car. She appeared unharmed, no visible wounds marring her skin, yet her body shivered uncontrollably, a stark contrast to the frigid night air. Concerned about her well-being, the driver offered to summon help, a gesture of kindness met with a fervent plea. She begged him not to involve the police, assuring him that she had already contacted AAA for assistance. However, the harsh reality of the remote location, devoid of cellular reception, dashed her hopes of timely aid. With a heavy heart, the bus driver returned home, his mind burdened by the baffling encounter. He reached out to the sheriff's department at 7:43 p.m., his voice carrying the weight of his concern. As he made the call, he glanced back at the scene, noticing a procession of cars passing by, their headlights piercing the darkness. Another local resident, returning home from work, stumbled upon the aftermath of the accident around 7:37 p.m. Her gaze fell upon a police SUV, its imposing presence facing Murray's wrecked car. Curiosity piqued, she pulled over, her heart pounding in her chest. Yet the scene before her was eerily silent, no signs of life, no figures moving in the dim light. The eerie stillness prompted her to continue her journey home, leaving the enigma unsolved. The witness's account, however, conflicts with the official police log, which indicates that the Haverhill police arrived 9 minutes late. This discrepancy adds another layer of mystery to the already perplexing case, raising questions about the timeline of events and the actions taken by the authorities. The official police log paints a chilling picture of the scene that unfolded on that fateful night. At 7:46 p.m., a lone police officer arrived, his silhouette illuminated by the flashing lights of his cruiser. The once vibrant car, now a mangled wreck, stood as a stark reminder of the violent impact. The driver's side bore the brunt of the collision. The left headlight shattered, the radiator crashed, and the windshield cracked. The airbags, deployed in a desperate attempt to protect the driver, hung limply, a stark contrast to the force of the impact. The car, its doors locked, stood like a silent sentinel, guarding the secrets of the night. A closer examination of the scene revealed a chilling tableau. Inside and outside of the car, crimson stains, remnants of spilled red wine, painted a macabre picture. The interior of the vehicle, once a sanctuary of personal belongings, now bore the marks of chaos. An empty beer bottle, a testament to the night's events, lay discarded. A damaged box of Franzia wine, a symbol of solace sought and perhaps abandoned, rested on the rear seat. Among the scattered items, the officer discovered a AAA card issued to Murray, a stark reminder of her failed attempt to summon help. Blank accident report forms, a testament to her initial intention to take responsibility, lay forgotten. A collection of personal items, including gloves, compact discs, makeup, diamond jewelry, and a beloved stuffed animal, offered glimpses into her life, her hopes and her dreams. A copy of Not Without Peril, a book about the treacherous White Mountains, hinted at an adventurous spirit, a desire to explore the unknown. However, certain items were conspicuously absent. Murray's debit card, credit cards, and cell phone all vanished without a trace. These missing pieces of the puzzle, never recovered or used since her disappearance, deepened the mystery surrounding her fate. The police investigation later revealed that some of the purchased liquor bottles had also vanished, adding another layer of intrigue to the case. Journalist Joe McGee, writing for the Quincy, Massachusetts Patriot Ledger, painted a haunting picture of the fateful night. At a hairpin turn, her car veered off the road, colliding violently with a towering tree. A local resident, a school bus driver, happened upon the scene of the crash. Concerned for her well-being, he approached the young woman, offering a helping hand. However, she declined his assistance, her refusal as enigmatic as her disappearance. Approximately 10 minutes later, the piercing sirens of police cars shattered the tranquility of the night. But by the time the authorities arrived, Maura Murray had vanished without a trace, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a community shrouded in uncertainty. Initially, the authorities, believing that Maura Murray may have vanished voluntarily, treated her case as a missing persons investigation. Her meticulous travel preparations, a stark contrast to her usual openness, fueled speculation about a deliberate disappearance. The absence of any overt signs of foul play further supported this theory. However, as time passed and the mystery deepened, the case was transferred to the New Hampshire Cold Case Division in 2009. The classification of the case as suspicious marked a significant shift, acknowledging the enigmatic circumstances surrounding her disappearance and the lingering possibility of a more sinister explanation. Between 8 and 8:30 p.m., a contractor returning home from Franconia stumbled upon a fleeting glimpse of a young woman, a solitary figure moving swiftly along Route 112, approximately 4 to 5 miles east of the crash site. The contractor, struck by the figure's distinctive attire, jeans, a dark coat, and a light-colored hood, mentally noted the encounter. However, due to a lapse in memory, he failed to report the sighting to the authorities immediately. It wasn't until 3 months later, upon reviewing his work records, that the significance of the encounter dawned upon him, linking the mysterious figure to the night of Maura Murray's disappearance. As the hours ticked by, the responding officer and the bus driver, driven by a sense of urgency, scoured the area in search of the missing woman. The arrival of EMS and a fire truck at 8 p.m. marked a somber moment, as the scene was secured and the damaged car prepared for removal. By 8:49 p.m., the Saturn had been towed away, a silent witness to the night's events. A peculiar discovery, a rag believed to be part of Murray's emergency roadside kit, was found stuffed inside the muffler pipe, a puzzling act that added another layer of mystery to the case. Despite the growing concern and the mounting evidence, the authorities, perhaps blinded by a desire for a quick resolution, classified Maura Murray as simply missing at 12 p.m. the following day, nearly 24 hours after the last confirmed sighting. This seemingly casual approach to the investigation, coupled with the numerous unanswered questions, has fueled speculation and frustration among those who seek the truth. As the sun rose on February 10, 2004, a sense of dread settled over the hearts of Maura Murray's family and friends. At 12:36 p.m., a be on the lookout alert was issued, painting a picture of a young woman, lost and vulnerable, wearing a dark coat, jeans, and a black backpack. Hours later, at 3:20 p.m., a chilling voicemail message, a harbinger of the impending tragedy, was left on Fred Murray's home answering machine, informing him of his daughter's abandoned car. Unfortunately, due to his out-of-state work commitments, Fred remained unaware of the unfolding crisis. At 5 p.m., one of Maura's older sisters, her voice heavy with worry, reached out to their father, delivering the devastating news. Fred immediately contacted the Haverhill Police Department, only to be met with a chilling ultimatum. If Maura was not found safe by the following morning, the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department would initiate a full-scale search. At 5:17 p.m., the official classification of Maura Murray's status changed from missing to missing person, a stark acknowledgement of the growing concern and the gravity of the situation. As dawn broke over Haverhill on February 11, 2004, Fred Murray arrived, his heart heavy with worry. At 8 a.m., a desperate search commenced. A motley crew of New Hampshire Fish and Game officials, the Murray family, and a cadre of volunteers combing the desolate landscape. A highly trained tracking dog, its keen sense of smell honed to perfection, was deployed to follow the faint scent trail left by one of Maura's gloves. The canine, a silent partner in the search, traced the scent 100 yards east from the crash site, only to lose it abruptly, suggesting that Maura had abandoned her vehicle and continued her journey in another car. As the day wore on, Maura's boyfriend and his parents arrived in Haverhill, their faces etched with concern and confusion. The boyfriend, subjected to private interrogation, was later joined by his parents for further questioning. By 7 p.m., the police, their faces grim, offered a chilling theory. They believed that Maura had intentionally driven to the area, either seeking escape or contemplating suicide. However, her family, refusing to accept such a bleak conclusion, vehemently rejected this hypothesis. As the days turned into weeks, the mystery surrounding Maura Murray's disappearance deepened. Her boyfriend, haunted by a chilling voicemail that he believed was Maura's voice, discovered that the call had been traced to a calling card issued to the American Red Cross. The eerie silence of the call, coupled with the enigmatic source, added another layer of complexity to the case. On February 12th, Fred Murray and his son-in-law held a heart-wrenching press conference in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, their voices filled with desperation and hope. The following day, the first news reports about Maura's disappearance began to circulate, igniting public interest and concern. At 3:05 p.m., the police issued a grim update, revealing that Maura might be headed to the Kamkamagas Highway area and classifying her as endangered and possibly suicidal. The police report also claimed that Maura was intoxicated at the crash site, a claim that contradicted the bus driver's assessment of her sobriety. The Haverhill police chief, his voice heavy with concern, expressed fears that Maura might be in a vulnerable state, possibly contemplating self-harm. A week after Maura's disappearance, her family appeared on CNN's American Morning, their faces etched with sorrow and frustration. The Murrays, determined to find their daughter, expanded their search to Vermont, dismayed by the lack of cooperation from the local authorities. Despite the unusual nature of the case, the FBI, an agency typically reserved for federal crimes, joined the investigation 10 days after Maura's disappearance. Agents interviewed family members in Massachusetts, and the Haverhill police chief announced that the search had now become a nationwide effort. 10 days after her disappearance, New Hampshire Fish and Game conducted a second comprehensive search, employing helicopters equipped with thermal imaging cameras, tracking dogs, and cadaver dogs. In a desperate attempt to find clues, Maura's older sister discovered a ripped pair of white women's underwear lying in the snow on a secluded trail near French Pond Road. However, DNA test confirmed that the underwear did not belong to Maura. At the end of February, the police returned the items recovered from Maura's car to her family, a bittersweet gesture that offered little solace. On March 2nd, exhausted by the relentless search, the Murrays checked out of their motel, but Fred continued to return to the area every weekend, driven by an unwavering hope. The disappearance of Brianna Maitland in Montgomery, Vermont, 66 miles away from Maura's last sighting, drew eerie parallels, sparking speculation and comparisons in the media and law enforcement circles. However, state police officials were quick to dismiss any connection between the two cases, asserting that there was no evidence linking the two disappearances. In April and June, both New Hampshire and Vermont police reiterated their stance, dismissing any potential connection between the cases. In a press release, they suggested that Maura may have accepted a ride from a stranger, a theory that raised more questions than it answered. They also dismissed the possibility of a serial killer being involved, a conclusion that many found difficult to accept. As the investigation dragged on, a glimmer of hope emerged. On July 1st, the police retrieved the items found in Murray's vehicle for forensic analysis, a crucial step in the pursuit of answers. A massive search involving nearly 100 individuals, including state troopers, rescue personnel, and volunteers, was conducted on July 13. This was the fourth search of the area surrounding the crash site, and the first to be conducted under the clear summer sky. The authorities, particularly interested in locating the black backpack that Murray had been carrying, scoured the terrain, but the search yielded no conclusive results. A chilling new development emerged in late 2004 when a man presented a rusty, stained knife to Fred Murray, claiming it belonged to his brother, a man with a criminal past who resided less than a mile from the crash site. The man's brother and his girlfriend had exhibited strange behavior following Maura's disappearance, and the brother himself had hinted that the knife might have been used in a tragic act. Days after the knife was handed over, the man's brother inexplicably scrapped his Volvo, adding another layer of intrigue to the case. However, family members of the man who presented the knife cast doubt on his credibility, suggesting that he had fabricated the story to claim a reward and that he had a history of drug abuse. In 2005, Fred Murray, driven by a relentless pursuit of truth, petitioned New Hampshire Governor Craig Benson for assistance in the search. He also appeared on the Montel Williams show to publicize the case, hoping to generate public interest and gather new leads. On February 9, 2005, the first anniversary of Maura's disappearance, a somber service was held at the crash site, followed by a brief meeting between Fred and New Hampshire Governor John Lynch. Later in 2005, Fred filed a lawsuit against several law enforcement agencies seeking access to the case files. On November 1, 2005, a user named Tom Davies posted a message on a message board dedicated to Maura's disappearance, claiming to have seen a black backpack like Maura's behind a restroom in Pemigewasset Overlook, approximately 30 miles east of Woodsville on Route 112. Senior Assistant Attorney General Jeffrey Strelzine acknowledged that law enforcement were aware of the backpack sighting but declined to disclose whether it had been subjected to forensic analysis, leaving the public to speculate on the significance of this potential clue. As the years passed, the mystery surrounding Maura Murray's disappearance continued to baffle investigators and haunt her family. In 2006, a dedicated group of individuals, including members of the New Hampshire League of Investigators, retired police officers, and the Molly Bish Foundation, took up the mantle of the investigation. Tom Shamshak, a former police chief and a member of the Licensed Private Detectives Association of Massachusetts, expressed his belief that the case was more than just a simple missing persons case, hinting at a darker, more sinister truth. The Arkansas group Let's Bring Them Home offered a significant reward of $75,000 for information leading to the resolution of the case. In October 2006, volunteers embarked on a 2-day search within a few miles of the crash site. A chilling development emerged when cadaver dogs, known for their uncanny ability to detect human remains, exhibited unusual behavior within an A-frame house located approximately 1 mile from the crash site. The house, once the residence of the man implicated by his brother, had been the subject of intense speculation. A carpet sample from the house was sent to the New Hampshire State Police for forensic analysis, but the results were never publicly disclosed. In July 2008, another 2-day search involving dog teams and licensed private investigators was conducted in the wooded areas of Haverhill. Maura's case gained significant attention in 2009 as it was cited by proponents of a statewide cold case unit for New Hampshire. Subsequently, her case was added to the newly established cold case unit. In 2010, Fred Murray publicly criticized the police investigation, asserting that it had been mishandled as a missing persons case rather than a criminal matter. he urged the FBI to take over the investigation, hoping to bring a fresh perspective and increase resources to the case. In 2014, on the 10th anniversary of Maura's disappearance, Senior Assistant Attorney General Jeffrey Strelzine acknowledged that there had been no credible sightings of Maura since the night she vanished. Fred Murray, in an interview with the New York Daily News, expressed his belief that Maura was dead and had been abducted on the night of her disappearance. In February 2017, Strelzine, in an email to the Boston Globe, confirmed that the case remained open, with periods of active investigation interspersed with periods of dormancy. In February 2019, on the 15th anniversary of Maura's disappearance, Fred reiterated his belief in his daughter's death and his suspicions about the nearby house that had triggered the cadaver dog's response. Following a change in ownership, the new owners granted permission to search the property. In early 2021, an excavation was conducted in the basement of the house, but the search yielded no significant findings, only uncovering fragments of pottery and old piping. In early 2021, the tree at the crash site, a poignant memorial marked with a blue ribbon, was cut down by the property owner. Shortly thereafter, a request from Maura's family to erect a New Hampshire historical marker at the site was denied by the New Hampshire Division of Historical Resources. On September 14, 2021, a glimmer of hope emerged when the New Hampshire State Police announced the discovery of bone fragments on Loon Mountain in Lincoln, New Hampshire, approximately 25 miles east of the crash site. Maura had visited the mountain in the past and was familiar with the area.
To dig up whoever is there. There's a human body, a dead person there. The odds are, I think that it's my daughter, but it's somebody's.
The bone fragments, described as pretty small, were sent for forensic analysis, with experts estimating that it would take at least 2 months to determine their identity. In November 2021, the heartbreaking news was confirmed. The remains did not belong to Maura. In January 2022, the FBI issued a national alert in Maura's case and created a violent criminal apprehension profile, a move that allowed multiple law enforcement agencies to collaborate and share information. In July 2022, law enforcement authorities in New Hampshire initiated a search in the towns of Llandaff and Easton. On February 9, 2024, the 20th anniversary of Maura's disappearance, the New Hampshire officials released an age progression photo of Maura, a poignant reminder of the enduring mystery and the hope that she will one day be found. As we close this episode, our thoughts and condolences are with the victims' families for all our stories. Losing a loved one is never easy, but losing them in such a violent way is a wound that never fully heals. As always, we thank you for your support. Don't forget to subscribe to Crime Cap Podcast for more bone-chilling, wicked, and twisted stories.